What just happened in Germany again is alarming. The strongest opposition party in the country, the AfD Alternative für Deutschland, has been officially labeled confirmed extremist by the state. And now there's open talks of banning it completely. No trial, no transparency, and no public proof. Just a secret 1,100-page intelligence report. And if you ask questions, you are part of the problem. This isn't just politics, this is potential turning point of democracy in Europe, and the world is watching. So what is actually happening here is that they are labeling it gesichert rechtsextrem, which basically is a label that means the AfD is completely right-wing and therefore forbidden under the constitution because it could pose a threat to the democracy. And many people obviously are tying back here the history with the Nazis of Germany, and they definitely obviously don't want this to happen again. Therefore, every time a party is too right, there was a party back in the times where they also had these kind of problems and obviously these kind of cases, when they turn to right, then obviously they are against the democracy automatically, and therefore they're labeled extremists. So especially when we speak about the 1,100-page long report that basically is classified and no one has access to it. In this 1,100 pages, the intelligence, so-called Verfassungsschutz, basically wrote down all of the reasons why the AfD should be forbidden and is labeled as right-wing and therefore extremist and therefore not allowed in Germany. Now, the crazy thing about this is that this report is not publicly available. Let's say there was a very good example that Hoss and Hopf did in his podcast. They said, look, imagine you rob a store, right? And then you are caught and someone says, excuse me, like you robbed the store, right? And you say like, no, I didn't rob the store. And they said, yeah, but we have proof for that. We have cameras, we have seen it, you know? And then you say, okay, then let's go and show me the camera because I don't have anything that I robbed from the store. And they will say, no, we don't show you the camera. Then you say, but if I've stolen something, I should have the good with me that I've stolen, right? So I don't have any goods on me. Like, can you show me what good I've stolen? They said, no, we cannot show you. So basically it's like you are saying something, right? You're having a very harsh opinion about reality, but there's zero proof, and the proof that you have, you don't want to show. It's kind of kindergarten. Like you remember when you were kids in kindergarten and you stole something from someone, or someone stole something from you and you said, you stole my toy. And then there's like no evidence for that and no proof. And then you say like, but you show me. And then, no, I don't want to show you. It's like kids bullshit, you know? So it's completely crazy to me, and that's why I'm making this video actually, that there can be proof that no one has to see and no one can see, and then by that proof they are forbidden. Currently one of the most popular parties in Germany that poses a threat to the liberal side, to the democracy and whatsoever, even if they pose a threat to democracy. This is not about speaking if I'm AfD pro or contra. AfD doesn't really matter in this case because at the end of the day they are forbidding one of the most voted parties in Germany, and a party that got a lot of hype over the last couple of months of years, and also a party, in my opinion, that has some good things, not all of them obviously, but has some good things and some good, let's say, cases in their program that they want to fix in Germany. Obviously, if they do it or not, in my opinion, as politicians and political parties speak and never do anything anyways, that's their job. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see that. On top of that, what is pretty funny is that Germany twittered a couple of months ago about Thailand, right? And I saw it in Thailand, there was a party that got forbidden, and Germany said they're very sorry for that. They think it's a threat against democracy to ban a party. Now they do it also, and they say it's for democracy. Makes zero sense, complete contradiction over here, and something that I really personally don't like. And yet another big issue that is happening in Germany. There is news from Germany, from the parties failing, the government failing, the presidency failing, money failing, finance failing, everything is failing. And now they are forbidding one of the biggest parties in Germany that actually could maybe have the biggest potential to solve the issues in Germany. But yeah, we have yet to see obviously how this will continue. Now they're not banned yet, but they're speaking about it. Obviously the AfD filed a case against the intelligence in Germany to obviously combat them on this ground that this is not correct. They are not right-wing and they're also not extremists especially. Yes, they are on the right side, but that's something different. Why can't you be on the right side? If there's left, there's right. And right for me is morals, is a hard line, is hard rules. And it's like a society where Germans are Germans and that's it. And that's what Germany especially needs. I'm not saying here that I'm right-wing or anything. I'm just a normal person that stands for normal values and morals and ethics, and that should be okay and not called extremist or wrong. And there is factually a big problem in Germany right now when it comes to immigration. I was just reading today on Zero Hedge, which focuses on news all over the world, that in Spain the rape cases tripled in the last 6 years, and close to 65% of all inmates are immigrants that came into the country. I truly believe that the data is not very different in Germany, so there is a factual problem. I'm not saying immigrants should not be allowed. I'm not saying that immigrants are bad. I also migrated to Germany. I was born to a German mom and to a Portuguese father in Africa, in Namibia. I came to Germany. I enjoyed Germany. I loved Germany. I went to school in Germany, but I left Germany because especially of these reasons. And it's completely here another showcase why it was a good decision, in my opinion, for me personally, for my family, to leave this country. And I'm very sad about that. But at the end of the day, no transparency, contradiction, all of this under the name of democracy. This doesn't remind me at all of democracy. Well, we all know anyways, democracy is a lie. Now, obviously, even before the newspapers in Germany picked up on this case, US politicians and politicians all around the world were alarming, saying this is complete BS and going against it, which is kind of crazy for me to see how all over the world people are calling out Germany for their misleading, let's say, politics, for their problems, for the things that they're doing, because Germany obviously was always a country that many countries around looked up to. It is the head of Europe, and therefore many people, I truly believe, are insanely disappointed by Germany. And this all leads me to one question that we have to answer later together, and that is, why would Germany do such a thing? There's a certain period where we have to ask ourselves, is someone in control over their own country, or is Germany actually not in control over their country anymore? Because how much they are destroying themselves reminds me more of somebody being controlled by someone or something that doesn't want the best for this very person or country. Therefore, it's destroying it from inside. And we need to ask ourselves honestly this question, because that's the only thing that comes to my mind. Why would something like this happen? Who is scared of the AfD? And that's the left, that's the liberals, right? We need to ask ourselves the question, who controls the left, the liberals, who controls Germany? But more about that later. I mean, the very first question obviously that came into my mind when I heard that the AfD was officially classified as gesichert rechtsextrem, therefore meaning extremist right, I really thought to myself, like, why is this happening? I'm not going into this discussion on this current topic saying that Germany is doing that to itself. I truly believe that either Germany became so corrupt and someone is paying them off to destroy themselves, so they are weak, and there are certain strong, let's say, religions and countries and other superpowers that obviously want other countries that have the potential to be strong to be very weak, right? This is business, this is how life is. You want to weaken your enemies and you want to strengthen yourself. How can you weaken your enemy? You can either weaken your enemy by controlling it, by paying people off that lead the government for them to destroy themselves and no one really cares about it. I don't know exactly what it is, but it makes zero sense to me to logically think that the solution or the reason why this is happening is really logical behavior of humans that decide for this, right? If you see such irrational things, the reason behind that is mostly that someone is controlling them, someone is really telling them what to do, someone has interest in Germany really failing and continuously being liberal and open and letting immigrants in, right? Because that's what AfD stands for mainly. So my question, the first one that I had, is why would someone want the AfD to be forbidden? Question number one. Question number two, who is the opposition of the AfD? Liberals, left, even left extremists. What is the main point AfD wants to solve? They want to stop the immigration. Who has interest in immigration? Who always had interest in immigration? And there are certain books and there are certain things in the history that we can research, right? And again, here, I know I need to be very careful how I say it because these things will be flagged and so on, but there's books that you can read about exactly what is happening in Germany right now. There have been people that exactly said what's going to happen in the world right now, and that's exactly what is happening. So we need to follow the logical route of evidence on who is instigating that. We know at the end of the day that the Zionists, or especially Jewish people, own most of the companies in the world, most of the corporations, they control everything. Now, don't get me wrong, And I already know, I already see in the comments, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-Jew, I'm not against anyone. I'm a guy that grew up all over the world, I live everywhere, I'm connected with everyone, I have friends on every side, because I judge people by people, not where they're from. But there's a certain percentage that we need to follow factually, that these people own most of the world. And a lot of respect to them, because we need to ask ourselves the question next time, especially, how did they do it? It's not blaming them or anything, but we know they control it. It was like that in the past. That's why the right-wing extremists back in the time broke completely loose and took over Germany. If that's good or bad, you need to judge. I'm against killing of people of any race and any heritage and any religion. I don't care about that. I don't want that to happen. But if we put the puzzles together, there's a certain, let's say, elite group that, in my opinion, controls Germany, wants them to destroy themselves. AfD is becoming a big threat in the country. Therefore, they are now legally banned, because that's the easiest way to legally just completely ban them, to continue with immigration, to continue to destroy the German culture, to continue to destroy the German nationalism, which is not negative, because now if I say nationalism, everyone will say, oh, he's a Nazi, he's a Nazi, he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm nothing. I'm just a person of earth, and I truly believe in facts and logic. And I am not a conspiracy theorist fan. But when it comes to these things, and you might call it conspiracy theorists, I'm just following the facts. I'm following the things that I'm reading, the books that I'm reading. Take a normal person. Yes, people destroy themselves every day. They consume alcohol, they do bad things, they smoke, it's not healthy. But if you destroy yourself to such a point, you need to ask yourself the question, is this person still sound? Is this person controlled by someone? Is this person really, let's say, healthy? Is there something wrong? And that's the same I'm asking myself on a corporate level, but then also on a governmental level. And that doesn't sound to me at all. So something is really off, and that is my theory where this comes from. Now, the AfD being classified as right extremists gives the opportunity to forbid them, therefore to continue a liberal, open immigration into the future in Germany, which is killing the country. And these are facts. And again, I'm not against anyone here. This is not about race, this is not about people, this is just about pure facts. And the pure facts show that Germany is being destroyed under immigration. I am very grateful that over 25 years ago, I was allowed to come into Germany, live there, and I love Germany. And people need to understand that that's the reason why I do these videos. Not to speak against anyone, but I truly believe this is a disgrace and it should be stopped, because there's enough facts that show us that Germany is going down. And you need to ask yourself the question one more time, why is this happening? Who has an interest in that? There's a sentence that I love. Ask yourself the question who you are not allowed to talk bad about. Whoever you are not allowed to speak up against, this is the person, this is the government that controls you. So ask yourself the question, why are we not allowed to speak up for the AfD if you are an AfD supporter? Why can you not be right wing? Why can you not be on the right side for your country, for your nation, for your flag, against immigration, against rape, against financial problems, against all of the sick stuff that is happening? Why are you not allowed to be against that? The reason why American politicians or politicians in general are hating against Germany, especially when it comes to this move, laughing about Germany, mocking Germany, is because everywhere in the world you are seeing the switch from liberalism that officially destroyed everything, from liberalism and hedonism and all of this bullshit, away to a more normal, I'm not saying right or left, a normal way of living. And these countries are doing it right now. Their presidencies are doing it right now. Maybe not Canada, because again, there's a very liberal side at one. But in America and many other countries, people are becoming normal again. We were too left. In the past, we were too right. Then we were too left. Now everything needs to go back to normal. Normal is good. Normal is not toxic. And these countries are going through that right now. And they are laughing about Germany. They are mocking Germany because they are taking the direct opposite step into destroying themselves, and they know who it is, but they cannot say it. Now, a good question obviously is that if this could backfire, right? Could this make the AfD even stronger if they win this case? Because now obviously the next step is the AfD, as I already said, they are going against this ban, right? They're going against this. They want to solve this in front of the court, right? And that will happen. They will sue the Verfassungsschutz. They will sue the German intelligence, and that's what they're doing. They already sent in their claim. And if they win this, then they will definitely be stronger, because it's kind of like the Andrew Tate effect, the Donald Trump effect, all of these people that are banned and hated, but these ones get so much media attention, right? And if you trigger the German folk, if you trigger the German people by forbidding a party right, that actually most of them are voting, and you see that factually by the numbers, you are forbidding someone to have their voice, and therefore they will wake up. And therefore I truly believe if the AfD could win that, they will definitely win the presidency in the next term, or become the main party leading the government in that sense, and then also obviously calling in the Bundeskanzler and the one that leads the country. This isn't about the AfD anymore. It's about the kind of country Germany is becoming. You don't need to support a party to support democracy. You just need to ask what happens when the state gets to pick who's allowed to run and who gets arrested. If this video helped you see things more clearly, drop a comment below. Let's have a real conversation. And if you want more uncensored geopolitical breakdowns, you know what to do. Subscribe. We don't mainstream here.